Dude, there's been so much going down lately. I don't know how anyone could honestly say they're not entertained. We just had Halloween. We got the election in a few days.
Frankly, this was, I believe, the greatest political movement of all time. There's never been anything like this in this country.
And there's just so much content out there right now. I love it. We're eating good tonight. Halloween's one of my favorite times of the year. I like the decorations, the festivities, goth girls coming out of hibernation. And I bet you those who manufacture pregnancy tests, that's gotta be one of their highest selling times of the year. A lot of sexy nuns and nurses don't know if they're getting pregnant.
Come down to the hospitality, I'll come out of my house, and I'll break your fucking legs, you little prick!
Dude, I've seen some crazy costumes this year, too. Dude, like, I saw this kid in blackface on Twitter. He was supposed to be Diddy and his girl was a fucking, like, His girl was baby oil. This guy, the balls on this guy. I shouldn't laugh, but at the same time, how fucking preposterous. I'm really surprised I didn't see anyone going for Thomas Matthew Crooks. No one even tried it. Like, dude, you're telling me you couldn't steal this guy's look? You totally could have, you know? Hair split off to the side, shave your face, put on the glasses. No one even tried it, man. We got the Diddy costume, but no one tries this. I don't know, I love offensive costumes. You know what's crazy, though? This time last year, I was at a music festival, and I took a photo with some guy in a Dr. Disrespect costume. Fucking aged like milk, man. I was so hyped, I thought I was sick. That guy's probably mortified, man. But to be fair, it's actually a great costume if we're talking about just how scary is it. Imagine that motherfucker's trick-or-treating. Whew! Better hope your kid doesn't answer the door. I also saw some headline where it said, trick-or-treating is on the decline, like as of tradition, people aren't going out and asking for candy as much as they used to, which sucks. I mean, I don't know how true it is. I'm not trick-or-treating anymore. I'm a fucking grown adult now. But like, if that is true, I mean, that's just an unfortunate thing, and I think we gotta keep that tradition alive. Trick-or-treating is so valid. Like, I know it used to be scary in the 90s when they were putting like razors and stuff in the candy, but when I was trick-or-treating like a decade ago, it was awesome. Maybe next year I'll actually go around trick-or-treating, me as a 6'6" guy, just to prove a point, you know? Anyway, we got the election coming up, which I know is something everyone is so excited about. I didn't vote, actually. That's not a joke. That's not a cop-out. I literally forgot. I forgot to, because you have to register to vote. I didn't even know that. I thought you could just
vote
because like you're in the country and like it affects you, and like I thought the whole, like I thought I was registered by fucking existing here and like having citizenship, but I don't know. I guess not. I'm slow. What do you want me to say? At the same time, voting is also a fucking errand. Like, I don't want to run an errand. Politics is more fun as a spectator sport. I'm just gonna say it. It's way more fun to watch these amazing Jubilee videos that they've been pumping out every single day. One Democrat surrounded by 50 Republicans and then they debate. It's like, dude, they've got that shit down to a science, and it sucks because they copyright claim people who react to it. So fucking cringe, bro. But it's like just so much more. Isn't it more fun to just watch this shit all go down? And you know what's proof of it, actually, that it's a better spectator sport, is the fact that we are now reaching a stage in gambling where people are betting on the fucking outcome of the election. There's the whole poly market thing I've seen where you can like wager some bread on if Trump or Kamala's taking the cake. I kind of fuck with it, honestly. It just really shows us how bad the gambling rot has spread in this country. Las Vegas has now become a URL. I love it. I've really been fucking with the whole campaign trail shit that's been going on both sides. Like, I'm really liking all this shit. They're putting up numbers. They're doing the clips. It's great. Like, these past 7 months have been crazy for Trump. Like, he got shot at, went on an Aiden Ross stream, got a job at McDonald's. Wasn't there also like a second assassination attempt? Don't hate me for saying this, but if this election was just determined based on aura, Trump wins in a fucking landslide. He's also doing all these podcast runs, putting up numbers. Kamala has had a few moments that definitely contribute to her aura meter. Like, I noticed she got the Migos out there, which, did they even rap, or were they just like saying, yeah, we like you, Kamala? I don't know. Pretty cool. Migos 2016, pretty good music. There's also Brat Summer, which undoubtedly put her aura through the roof for a few months. Like, it worked. It worked. You know, that Charlie XCX album was a fucking goldmine for the Harris campaign. You had the coconut tree shit. As you just fell out of a coconut tree. You know, they're doing their things. She's had her moments for sure. Oh yeah, I don't know if this is good or bad, but I keep seeing these fucking things where Kamala Harris is being caught code switching. She's just randomly changing the way she speaks depending on her environment.
Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. The path may seem hard, the work may seem heavy, but joy cometh in the morning, and church morning is on its way.
The new accent sent social media into a meltdown, with commentator Guy Benson saying,
This dude's name is Guy fucking Benson. I'm like, no thanks, bro. It's kind of funny. I don't know if it works. It's definitely fake. She doesn't talk like that. We are gathered here today to vote for Kamala Harris. Like, I don't really know if that's how she sounds. I know she laughs a lot. I think that's pretty good for people thinking she's kind of fun and, you know, a little jovial. But yeah, so this was the first year that I could have actually voted in an election, and I just fucking didn't. But of course, during the election season, we get these cringe celebrity endorsements that are always impossible to watch.
Чувак, это вечеринка отстой. Я, бля, ненавижу этих людей.
And they're always so cringe, but there actually is a group of people that hasn't endorsed a candidate that I think will literally change the election, depending on who they endorse. The Costco guys.
Thank you so much for being here.
By the way, not their kid. This is his kid. The Rizzler is just some kid. They bring him around the country to make faces. We got Squirtle, Wartortle, and Blastoise. I really do think that they need to endorse some candidate. We know for a fact that AJ's voting for Trump, and I feel like Big Justice is probably voting for Kamala. But dude, something tells me the Rizzler just straight up would have voted for fucking Kanye or something. The Rizzler just seems like a national socialist, you know? Like, there's something we don't know about him. He's making all these faces and he has his gesticulation. He's not telling us something on purpose. No, but all that mumbo-jumbo buildup is getting us into the video I want to watch today. The Man Problem by Shoe on Ahead. Why are men moving right? So this is something I've actually talked about for a while because I think more than a political thing, it's a cultural thing. Are they one and the same? Maybe. But it's something that I like talking about because it's not something where I think you need to understand policy in order to give your opinion on it, right? If you observe cultural trends and sort of the way that people behave en masse, and you can just observe certain things sociologically, you can make an opinion on this whole topic, right? And it's the whole notion of young men becoming right-wing, right? They're becoming more conservative, right? And why is this? This is something that has been asked by a lot of people on the left. Even some people on the right don't understand why it's happening. And I've made videos about this topic before. I maybe have made 1 or 2 or maybe 3. So I think simply put, there are a lot of challenges now as a young man in America that were not challenges whenever before now. And I think the reason that people or like young men are moving right is because they basically want to take something from when the problems weren't existing and bring it back. I'm speaking very vaguely because there's all sorts of things that, you know, you can tie it back to. If you want to talk about jobs, for example, it's very hard to get a job, even out of a 4-year college degree. That's what the whole point of going to college is, so that you can get a job, right? I mean, obviously, it's kind of fun to drink with your boys and stuff like that, no doubt. But the reason why these universities are so profitable and why they exist and they're such an integral part of society and development is because it's basically meant to set you up for getting a job. It's my understanding that it's never been more challenging to get a job with a degree. So you basically have to work harder to get a less valuable thing. That's so fucked. That's just one example of like, wasn't once a problem, now is a problem. People think we can, you know, do something to make it not a problem again. Let's take a cultural example. Cancel culture. Wasn't once a problem, now it is a problem. It's fucking cringe. They want like a cultural renaissance where that's not happening, you know? And to be fair, I mean, it's definitely making a comeback. Like people, this is gonna be a funny example, but I feel like certain things that were off limits even a few years ago have kind of changed. Like attitudes have changed on it, you know? Seen a lot more people cool with the R word, which I normally say in videos, but I think it gets demonetized. I don't know. And that might sound silly. It's like, well, is that a good thing? It's like, well, I don't know if it's a good thing, but I know that it's not a bad thing. And I know that it would be worse if people were getting in big trouble for saying it. And like when Chappelle got protested on, or Netflix protested because they had Chappelle, they gave him a special. And it's like, why? Because he made jokes about trans people? It's like, get a fucking life. It's like a more cultural side of things, right? I can go on and like make different arguments about all sorts of things, but we're gonna do that while we watch this video, and things are gonna come to me as we watch this. So yeah.
Hello everyone, and happy 1-year anniversary to my male loneliness epidemic video. I'm happy to announce that since that video uploaded, the discourse has greatly improved. People all around the world are taking men's issues more seriously, and the gender war has finally come to an end. Just kidding, everything has gotten worse and nobody has learned anything. From the witches on The View cackling about how men are useless.
Do we need men? Men are useless. I mean,
to women online.
It's so funny when people like that, the View panel, ask the question, why do we need men? The answer is very simple. Every time you say, stay where you are, we're going to commercial break. Yeah, that commercial break is brought to you by the wallets of the CEOs, which are often men. The people pushing products and allowing you to continue your show, those are fellas, okay? Now, obviously, I'm not going to sit here and be like, here's why we need men, because it's like, what am I going to do? Like, it's... Guarantee you it's not all women. I feel like there's definitely some guys involved in that process. Lining your pockets. You're welcome.
To women online saying they'd rather be stranded in the woods with a bear than a man.
Would you rather be stuck in a forest
with a man or bear?
The bear. Bear. It seems that things have gotten more toxic than ever, and the gender divide couldn't be any wider, especially politically.
In 2008, 58% of young people leaned Democratic. 2012, 53%. And in the last two major election years, that percentage held steady at 55%. But in 2023, that number dipped below 50% for the first time since 2005. And you'll notice right here, they've started to lean more Republican. And that's partly because of one specific group: young men.
It's true.
Okay, I know I said I was gonna focus on the gender war and not talk about politics for a while. However, I found a loophole. Politics is talking about gender war. With this election being hailed by the media as the man versus woman election, according to any and all data coming out recently, men all around the world have shifted more right, and women have shifted more left.
Yeah, you gotta love these journalists, you know, they're really doing a lot for our country, they're really bringing us together. I cannot fucking believe it. You know, it's crazy, you graduate college now, and you have this diploma, this degree that's supposed to get you a job, get you, you know, on your feet, being able to live by yourself, and maybe feed yourself in the process. That'd be nice, right? That'd be good. That'd be cool. But instead, right? You know, we're getting these fucking journos, these journalist scum. They graduate and then they get employed, and they're these little wasps. They fucking, this is the man versus woman election. You serve no purpose. I'm replacing you. I'm taking your job. I'm entertainment now. No one reads your shit. You suck. You're pumping garbage into the fucking ecosystem. Imagine there's a water supply, and it's the best water you can ever imagine. Put up a nice picture of water on screen. Now imagine there was someone getting paid with type 2 diabetes to urinate in as much water as they can, and then for you to drink it. And then for you to pay them to drink it. Unbelievable. It's the best metaphor I can give for this. So fucking divisive, man. I hate this shit. Maybe it's not the man versus woman election. Like, maybe that's just not what's happening. Maybe you shouldn't pin, you know, the two genders together in order to manufacture divide in this country, in order to further relentlessly ensue propaganda into your innocent readers' brains. Let's not do that, maybe.
Women going more left was not the focus of this month's outrage. The outrage, of course, was about men. That's right, we got our yearly, oh no, what is happening to men? Why are they moving to the right freak out? But unlike last year, this freak out isn't solely happening on the internet, no. It's also happening in Washington, D.C.
46 days until Election Day, and the Harris-Walz campaign is struggling to appeal to a group of voters.
Can I get this skin in CSGO?
That could determine the outcome of the election, and that is men.
The Harris campaign is making an aggressive last-minute effort to win over younger male voters.
Am I really gonna make a video criticizing the Democrat Party days before the election? Of course I am. Now, before you celebrate or grab your pitchforks, this is not a pro-Trump video. This is a do-better video. This is a mommy's not mad, she's disappointed video. Actually, I lied. Mommy's pretty mad. In this video, I am going to be addressing the Democrats' so-called man problem, the recent discourse about men moving right, the last-minute pandering the Democratic Party is doing to get them back, what they could be doing instead, and of course, going over some terrible opinions.
It's true. You know, the Democratic Party specifically has, I think, kind of had one of the biggest brain farts of all fucking time, and sort of forgotten that, like, you know, American, young, white, straight, cisgender men vote, you know, like, they actually have participatory habits in the elections, which I can see why that happened, you know, like, they're, especially on that side is the whole thing where a lot goes into helping and I guess supporting immigrants and getting them to vote for their party. No one's illegal on stolen land. We're a country of immigrants, you know, getting as many votes from people that are immigrants as humanly possible. That, you know, they kind of fucking forgot. They tunnel vision, and then we're like, oh shit, wait a second, these guys gotta vote too. We gotta get them on our team because they might not vote for us.
Not my opinions. I have never had a bad opinion in my life.
So
except
true.
that one opinion. We don't talk about that one opinion. In a world where it seems like everything men do and like is toxic, from eating meat to working out to even having a beard.
That was another thing I was talking about, where it's like the cultural thing, and it's so easy to say because I feel like this sort of talking point's been around since 2016, where it's like, I'm just gonna go out and say this one because she mentioned the phrase toxic masculinity. That phrase, I don't think has done a single good thing for the side that invented it. All you're doing is putting people who oftentimes just like certain things, you're putting them them on defense. Oh, combat sports are toxically masculine. You know, they're just two guys punching each other. It's degenerative. But it's like, well, it's a, you know, it's a sport. I like watching UFC. What did I do wrong? You know, and then you sort of, you just like, alienate people. It's really just not productive, I feel like. You just like shame people into not liking what they like, or shame them into, you know, voting for what you like. How gym bro culture is harming young men. The pressure to get jacked is sparking a male mental health crisis and driving men into the arms of the far right. Like, this is fucking insane. This actually does so much to hurt your cause. Dude, I'm gonna keep it 1,000. I don't think gym bro culture is harming young men.
What, people calling me gay because I've never had a girlfriend?
I think if anything,
it makes me less gay.
I think attacking gym bros is harming your cause. Like, you're taking a stance against something that's pretty common and good for a lot of, like 90% of guys who go to the gym. Also, I don't think the pressure to get jacked is sparking a male mental health crisis. I can think of like 10 more things that are sparking a mental health crisis. Higher costs of living, it's harder to get a girlfriend, rampant addiction within our culture, whether that would be social media, drugs, alcohol. Don't know if the whole gym bro culture is the problem there. Meat consumption feeds on toxic masculinity. I mean, these are so outrageous. Like, they must be in Spec Element, you know, like, you have to assume that it's rage bait.
I have been documenting the internet and society in general's growing and widely accepted hatred of men. This has been happening for a very long time. And if you dare spoke up about it, you were called an incel or a pick-me, depending on your gender. But seemingly, almost out of nowhere, there has been a change of heart.
You know, I think men are in crisis, actually, in this country. I think that plays out different ways, but I think we need to have a real conversation about that.
Wow, that's interesting. Mainstream media talking about this? I wonder why they care so much now. Democrats fear Harris losing too many male voters to Trump. Oh.
That'll happen.
Signs have been mounting
Makes
that, for the
sense.
first time in recent decades, Democrats may lose majority support from young men in 2024. The risk to Democrats is that this is not just a one-time fluke, but an indication of growing trouble with men in coming elections. Democrats can celebrate the support they are getting from young women, but they also need to take the disaffection of young men seriously, engage them directly, and respond to the visions of manhood and masculinity that Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are offering.
And mind you, none of this is being done, and none of this is being written because they have any interest in what they just said, or any actual concern for like material living conditions and how people are doing, or like mental health or whatever the fuck. It's like a honeypot, you know? It's like, oh, we care about you, trust us, just vote for us, you know? Just vote for us. It's bullshit. And I'm not saying the Republican Party cares about young men either, don't get me wrong. A lot of the time when people say that they care about a group of people, it's just for votes. So it's a lot of just bullshit and lies. But this one is like so fucking obvious, because the same people that are saying that we now need to actually give these people the time of day because the polls are saying we might be losing, would be writing the exact opposite if they were really far ahead with young men and had it secured. But because their rhetoric has actually resulted in a changing shift in polling, you know, now it's like panic mode or something. And I'm not being cynical, like, I know this is a fact because I'm on the internet, like, I see who gets popular, what ideas get popular, and I think more and more the stuff that you see on social media and like the trends and the norms that you kind of are exposed to are not 100%, but I think they've become more reflective of reality than not. Overall. And it's like, yeah, people really liked Andrew Tate. Young men really liked him. I don't know what this current status is. He kind of fell off. But it's like, you have to ask, why did that happen? Well, it's because he stood in opposition to a large amount of ideas that were in opposition to young men. Like the fucking Matrix or whatever. I don't know. I was never a huge Tate fan or anything, so. But I know that's why he got popular.
Versus anti-male propaganda and resentment fueled by our government, media, and institutions. How you gonna do it? Harris campaign creating space for white dudes. Oh, that's a great idea. I mean, a little too late, but I'm glad you're finally doing to be honest about role in history. Oh, it's always a space for white men to talk about how much they suck.
What made you start this group, White Dudes for Harris? And I suspect some of it has to do with the polling.
Yeah, for far too long, the left has essentially ceded white men to the MAGA right. There's large parts of the left who have gone out of their way to alienate white men over the last couple of years. And that's understandable in many ways. We decided that we wanted to create space for white men to be a part of electing Vice President Harris.
At the top of the call, White Dudes for Harris organizer Ross Morales Acheeto said he wanted to address what he called the elephant in the room, criticism surrounding an event organized for white men given the country's history of racism.
I mean, like, imagine being one of these dimwits that actually fell for this and you're like, wait a second, I'm white and I can be for Harris? all right, I'll give it a shot. Because you can't see through the obvious fact that this is being done based on polling. And then you show up there and then the dude's like, all right, let's get this out of the way. We all suck and we're all racist. Dude, like, you're gonna show up somewhere, they're gonna tell you suck. What are you gonna do? You're gonna leave. If I walk into a party, yo, fuck you, get out of here. All right, well, I'll go to that party. It's funny because party, actually a bit of a double entendre here because we're talking about politics. Hilarious!
A lot of people felt uncomfortable about the call, he said. Throughout American history, when white men organized, it was often with pointy hats on. They can't even have their gay little Zoom call where they circle jerk about hating themselves without their own movement going, yikes! A bunch of white males in one space? Seems kinda like the KKK. Black people can have their little groups and that's fine, but if a bunch of white people get together, well, that's just called breadtube.
That is very true.
White dudes for Harris. I mean, she's doing pretty bad with Latinos, too. What's next? Hombres con Harris?
Hombres con Harris, the Democratic campaign's initiative to mobilize the Hispanic vote. Hey, ¿cómo estás, mi gente? We got free tacos if you vote for us. Dude, fucking unbelievable. This is so funny. Like, they also had the vasectomy bus, I think. Like, if you showed up at the, I think, DNC or it was a Harris speech, they had a bus. You could just go in and get a vasectomy. Oh my god, dude. I want unique incentives. Like, we gotta get a little bit more creative. I want like more collabs. Like, I want like politics x pop culture. Give me a Donald Trump Reinhardt skin. Dude, I'd probably vote for Kamala if she had a good enough Fortnite event. That Travis Scott one made me a fan. Give Harris and Tim Walz their own Fortnite event. That might change things. We just gotta add, I don't know, there needs to be more indoctrination. More political slop everywhere we go. That's what we need more of.
So basically, men are leaving the Democratic Party in droves, and it's not looking too good for the Democrats. So it wasn't long until everyone's favorite discourse hit Twitter again. If Kamala loses, which is very possible, there needs to be a real discussion about how Democrats speak to and reach young men. If Kamala loses.
It's true.
If.
Only if.
If she wins, there doesn't have to be discussion. We shouldn't change anything. Clearly, we're doing everything right. To be clear, I'm not saying we need to worry about women less or change any positions. I'm saying the polling around young men is concerning, and if it turns out to be true, we need to have a discussion about how condescending we are coming off to a huge part of the electorate. To be clear, I'm not saying we have to change anything, I'm just wondering why men aren't voting for us. What? I am gonna regret posting this so hard. And oh boy did he, the replies were insane, to say the least. I must admit, I cringed reading most of this. I feel that one thing you didn't address is the systemic entitlement bestowed upon white men in the US. That sense of entitlement, that privilege they felt for eternity, is eroding.
It's such a funny tweet because the irony is so fucking apparent. It's so potent. This entire post is complaining about, oh, white men are entitled, right? And there's, oh, they're so privileged. But they are the one group that over the past few election cycles has been the most neglected by the Democratic Party. Or I should say that it's like the largest group of voters that has been ignored. Would you say that women are acting entitled for wanting the Democrats to voice what they are concerned about in their policy or, you know, their campaign? No, you wouldn't call that entitled. So why is it entitled when men want the same thing? Like, I don't understand that. I mean, clearly it's not, right? I mean, the guy who posted that was definitely right. He was onto something. But it's just weird. Like, imagine going up to that person and being like, yeah, I'm undecided. Who should I vote for? And then they're like, well, immigrants, well, women, minorities. It's like, okay, yeah, those are all nice things. Yeah, but I do also have these problems that I'm dealing with and these concerns that I have. Like, can you, like, make a case, like, one that appeals to, you know, the interests that I have? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking serious? You understand how entitled that is for you to ask that of me? You're just like, oh, okay, so there isn't. Okay, well, I guess I'm just not gonna do that, I guess. I'm not gonna be on your team if you don't want me there. If you're just gonna call me entitled. It just doesn't really achieve much. Like, what do you actually... Is there any ROI on that method? Doesn't seem like it. I mean, I would vote Democrat under a lot of circumstances, right? But it's like, you know, you gotta make a case. You have to actually, like, you have to campaign.
Systemic entitlement they have felt for eternity. They're like 22 years old. The f*** do you mean eternity? Who is this, like, 200-
It's true, I'm literally 20.
...year-old man. So, young men are snowflakes with hurt fifis because they're not the center of attention anymore.
Hey, what are your promises to me as a citizen of this country if I vote for you? You fucking... You're the center of the attention? Well, I mean, I'm not, obviously, but, you know, you want something from me, I want something back. Like, what are you gonna give me back? Fucking entitled pig. I feel like that's just not very effective, you know? Give me the votes, or else I'm going to shame you. Or else, you suck because you think you're the center of attention, or you're entitled. It's like, what? Are you entitled entitled to my vote? Like, no.
Oh, are they poor little snowflakes, boo-hoo, or are they scary fascists that are gonna turn America into the Handmaid's Tale? Because they can't be both. You either care about the future, or you don't. You cannot simultaneously hand wave away men moving to fascism, but also fearmonger about it. Hi, man here. Maybe men just need to stop being absolute pieces of dog shit. It seems like the easiest thing to do, right?
Again, it's just like, what do you actually, what is there any value in this messaging? I'm undecided. Ooh, maybe if you stop being dog shit, you'd be decided.
I feel alienated or uncomfortable with democratic messaging because I'm not a complete wannabe fascist cheese dick incel loser who thinks he's the good guy. Reddit and its consequences have been a disaster for the male race. They just need to get off their asses, stop playing video games, and get real jobs. First of all, what real jobs? These guys are coming out of college with useless diplomas and there are no jobs. Also, what an out-of-touch boomer-ass take. Get off your ass and stop playing those video games from the generation who watches TV 24/7. I don't want to hear it.
Based.
Tell them to get therapy. Tell them whatever you told or gave to women in the 1950s.
What?
They made this bed, let them sleep alone in it. Or be
let them sleep in the bed that they made? You mean vote against Democrat? Like, do you want that or not? None of it makes any fucking sense.
any other group of people and it's, oh, boo-hoo, poor baby. Let me rewire all of society so your feelings aren't hurt. And then with men, it's get therapy. Be better. While there is truth in messaging needs to be better from Democrats as a whole, I reject that telling young men they need to be better is the problem. They are trash in their nature, and if they can't do the work to not be toxic waste of seed, that's on them.
Let's go.
Vote for my team, by the way. We may not want to hear it, but this is what the data reflects. There is a massive loneliness epidemic in this country which is disproportionately affecting men. Instead of calling them incels or mocking them, we should be willing to hear out their concerns.
Whoa,
wow, surprisingly
I doubt that's going to be well received.
Good tweet in a sea of bullshit. That's nice to see. I could be wrong, but I'm assuming you're a straight white man, so yeah, go do something about it. Why are you guys bothering the rest of us with this? I can't figure it out. Because I would like for Democrats to win the election. Why do you care about men suffering? Because I want to win the election.
But, some of them can't even like pretend to care though. A lot of them, like, even though it would get them more votes, they can't even try. Like, it's not even worth the attempt. It's not my job. You have to do the work. You have to do the research. It's like, okay, well, that's just not gonna win you the shit that you want to win, you know? You clearly care because you're engaging with it on Twitter, so you either got to commit to it or not.
It's a really nice place. Have you been here before?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite spots. I bring everybody here.
I said not go on a lot of dates, but...
Paid for by Harris for president. Oh yeah, if you don't vote for us, you're gonna fucking die alone. No one's gonna treat you well. You're gonna get literally walked out on if you don't vote for Harris. What the fuck? It's like actually so fucking objectifying to women. We are doing a sex boycott unless you agree with my politics. Like, that is real. Like, we just watched that. It's like, are we really surprised that that's not like winning over men? If you don't vote for us, we're not gonna fuck you. Okay.
Hey men, if you don't vote for Kamala Harris, women won't fuck you. Brilliant. Young men should know that if you vote for Trump, you're basically never going to get laid. I mean, is it in...
Trump gives girls the ick, vote Harris, get laid. All right, I'm gonna keep it 1,000, bro. Doesn't Trump have like 10,000 girlfriends or something? Like, I don't know if he gives girls the ick. Maybe voting for Trump gives some girls the ick, but Trump himself, what's that guy's body count? Okay, I don't really know, but from it's my understanding that he does have some generational riz. Vote for Harris, get laid. Okay, or like, I just cringe. Like, how about instead of holding like sex over someone, you know, like if it was literally just, oh, vote Harris, get laid, just switch that with like, replace laid with 500 V-Bucks and we win. Like, that's a better bribe.
Correct? Don't think so. Trump gives girls the ick. Vote Harris, get laid. They are not beating the pretending to be progressive to get laid allegations with this one. Literally just endorsing woke fishing. When men pretend to be more progressive on dating apps to get laid. Do not do this, by the way. Be open and honest about your opinion.
Okay, don't listen to her. Try it. Just try it. See if it works. Don't like do it consistently. Just see if it works. See if you're good at it. You know what I'm saying? Like I have, you know, you have to pretend, you know, to be like an ultra progressive for a lot of like papers and stuff in school. So I've gotten pretty good at that. And so just, you know, you're carrying over this same sort of rhetoric over to the dating apps. You might get some luck.
And no, you cannot fix this. him. Also, pretty weird and like...
It's true. I mean, if you're gonna try to talk to, like, if there's a 10 out of 10 baddie who's like one of those kill all men girls, brother, you're not, like, don't save her. She don't want to be saved. You can't. You can't. Don't try it.
Oh! Sorry, you can't do that.
What the hell, man? How'd you get in here?
I'm your Republican congressman. Now that we're in charge, we're banning porn nationwide.
I'm sorry. I love this ad. The one time they speak to men directly, and it's, hey men, the Republicans are gonna take away one of the only vices you use to numb the pain. So vote for us. Bleak. Just the absolute state of the world right now.
Very terrifying. There will be nothing done to fix any circumstances that have put you into the position that you are now a dopamine monkey. But yeah, the right, I guess, is gonna try to take that away from you. I don't even know, man. Like, can we try to like make the world a better place, maybe? Am I retarded? I'll leave a link down below if you guys want to watch the whole video. It's been really good. Appreciate you guys coming here, and stay safe in these streets.